She asked for space, then grew distant, barely replying. You tried harder to reach her, even checking her socials, but she only pulled away more. Ever notice how indifferent guys often get the attention, while caring ones end up as just friends? Let's explore why relaxed confidence attracts and how you can master it. If this sounds familiar, comment "I choose calm" to support the channel. Number 1. He never explains himself. You don't need to justify your choices. The moment you feel pressure to explain why you didn't reply, why you skipped plans, or why you weren't as emotionally expressive, you're giving up power. And she feels it. Explaining yourself to someone who hasn't earned that access only makes you seem unsure, predictable, and easy to control. A grounded man respects his time and energy. He doesn't feel guilty for setting boundaries or focusing on his goals. If you're always available, always trying to be understood, it doesn't come across as kind, it comes across as weak. She doesn't want your constant explanations. She wants to know if she still has influence over you. When you stop over-explaining, you create mystery. And mystery builds attraction. Let her wonder. Let her feel your absence without guilt. Real respect comes from calm confidence, not constant reassurance. Before you speak, ask yourself, does this empower me or shrink me? If you're just trying to keep her comfortable, stay quiet. You're not here to be managed, you're here to lead, to live with purpose, and to protect your peace. And when she earns your trust, your truth becomes a gift, not a defense. That's how you reclaim your power and keep it. If this speaks to you, it's time to build the mindset that keeps you grounded no matter what. That's exactly what the Stoic relationship blueprint was made for. Number 2, he's immune to her tests. Most women don't even realize they're doing it. These emotional tests are instinctive. It's not manipulation, it's survival wiring. She's subconsciously checking whether you're steady enough to lead, protect, and handle pressure. What she's really testing is your emotional control. It shows up in small ways. She mentions another guy and watches your reaction. She replies late to see if you'll double text. She stirs conflict just to observe if you beg for peace. These are not random behaviors, they're signals. Most men respond with insecurity. They get jealous, over-explain, or try to win her back. But a calm, grounded man doesn't react. He remains still, not cold, just composed. He understands that these moments aren't about logic, they're about energy. She's not looking for explanations, she's looking for strength. When you don't flinch, she feels something deeper, safety. Not comfort, but the kind of safety that comes from knowing you can't be shaken by emotion or pressure. That's when she leans in, not because you chased her, but because you showed her she can't control you. True confidence means not needing to prove anything. When she pulls away, you give her space without resistance. When she tests you, you remain steady. That silence, that presence, it speaks louder than any words. This level of control takes discipline. You train it by choosing not to react. You stop chasing approval. You speak less, but with more intent. And over time, you stop being the man who tries to impress and become the one she respects. Because the man who can't be shaken, he becomes the one she doesn't want to lose. Number 3. He leads without needing control. True leadership is not about commanding others or forcing submission. It's about a man who knows himself fully and moves through life with steady confidence and clear purpose. Many men mistake aggression for strength and control for leadership, but real respect comes from following your own path without seeking approval or trying to dominate others. Women are drawn to a man who leads with conviction, someone who sets his own direction and lives by his values without needing to explain or justify himself. When a man places his woman at the center of his life and lets her emotions dictate his actions, he loses her respect. A woman cannot follow a man who is following her. She needs a leader who is grounded in his own mission. Real leadership begins when a man defines what he stands for, what he will tolerate, and what he won't compromise. Living by these principles naturally filters out those who don't align with his energy. Those who remain respect him deeply, not because he controls them, but because he commands himself. To become this kind of man, focus on your purpose and goals rather than on managing her moods or seeking constant reassurance. When you stay calm and centered through emotional ups and downs, you create a sense of safety and trust. This steadiness speaks louder than words and builds attraction on a level beyond logic. You don't gain this through force or trying to control others. You gain it by being anchored in your values and refusing to be swayed by every emotional wave. If you've been chasing approval or trying to fix things, remember, the moment you made her your center, you lost your own. The way back is through purpose, walking forward with or without her, holding firm to your standards. When your boundaries are strong but quiet, she doesn't just follow you, earn her respect, admiration, and genuine surrender. Start today by writing down the core values you will no longer compromise. Let these guide your choices, your words, and the relationships you allow in your life. Leadership will then become effortless, silent, and undeniable. Number 4. He doesn't chase. Feeling drained and unsure of your worth isn't because you're not lovable, but because you've been taught to chase love like a prize. When you put her on a pedestal and chase, you lose the genuine qualities that attract women. They're drawn to men who stay mysterious and confident, not those who constantly seek approval. Chasing often shows up as constant texting, rearranging your life for her, or holding back your true self to avoid conflict. Ironically, the more available you are, the less attractive you become. Women want to earn a place in a life that's already full, not be the center of it. True attraction comes from living a purpose-driven life that doesn't depend on her. When she senses you have your own world, she invests more to keep you. But if you chase harder when she pulls away, you push her further. To change, focus on your goals, value your time, and stop proving your worth to those who haven't earned it. Respond deliberately, don't over-pursue, and if she leaves, walk away confidently. Men who don't chase become unforgettable not because they're cold, but because they're rare and self-assured. Once you own your worth and stop chasing, women will start pursuing you. The chase ends when you become the prize. Number 5. He embraces silence. The most captivating man often speaks less, not out of fear, but because he knows silence holds power. Many men lose their edge by filling every moment with noise, trying to avoid feeling misunderstood. But true strength is shown in calm presence, not constant talking. When you stop chasing her attention with endless messages or explanations, you reclaim your energy. Silence creates mystery, making her wonder about you and want to engage more. She might test this by pulling away or giving short replies, but the steady man doesn't panic. He embraces the space and stays grounded. Her distance isn't a problem, it's a reflection. If silence unsettles you, you've given away your power. To take control, try not reaching out first, don't double text, and let conversations end naturally. Show through your quiet confidence that your time and attention aren't easily won. Soon, she'll come to you more often, not because you played a game, but because you stopped chasing and started living with purpose. Silence is not rejection, it's your strongest tool to manage emotions and keep respect. The man who masters this doesn't beg for attention or lose himself, he leads through quiet strength, and that's what makes him unforgettable. Want it even tighter or more casual? Number 6. He's unpredictable. Women often find themselves drawn to men they can't quite figure out, not because of wealth or looks, but because of unpredictability. In a world where so many guys act the same, always available, always predictable, a man who lives on his own terms, without explaining himself, becomes unforgettable. The problem is, many men ruin this by trying too hard once she shows interest. They start texting constantly, replying instantly, sharing every little detail. This kind of behavior kills attraction because predictability removes the excitement. Once she knows your next move, her interest fades. True magnetic energy comes from having your own life and rhythm. Sometimes you're attentive and engaged, other times distant and hard to read, not because you're playing games, but because you're focused on your own goals and boundaries. Women respect and chase men who aren't fully available on demand, who don't treat their attention as a given. To build this kind of attraction, stop being too eager. Don't always respond immediately. Sometimes say no. Occasionally disappear into your projects and let her wonder where you are. Let your life be so full and compelling that you aren't constantly seeking her validation. This natural unpredictability sparks curiosity and tension, keeping her emotionally invested. It's not about being cold or rude, but about refusing to be controlled by her moods or expectations. When you're emotionally free and consistent with your own values, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. So focus on your purpose, live your life fully, and let your actions, not words, create that magnetic pull. When you stop chasing, she'll start chasing you. Number 7. His presence dominates the room. The man who truly owns a room isn't the loudest or the one seeking approval. He's the one who walks in and instantly changes the energy without saying much. Respect isn't earned by entertaining others but through quiet confidence built in private through discipline, tough choices, and self-control. This presence is felt before words are spoken. Women and others are drawn to it because it's genuine and powerful, not forced. Unlike most men who constantly react and seek validation, this man moves with calm intention, observing and deciding where to invest his energy. You can recognize him by his steady posture, deliberate movements, and calm gaze. He doesn't rush to fill silence or explain himself. Instead, he speaks thoughtfully and carries himself with purpose. To build this presence, slow down your speech, stop using filler words, embrace silence, and move with intention. True confidence comes from living a grounded life where you don't rely on others to feel worthy. Enter every room knowing you decide who deserves your attention, not the other way around. This mindset naturally commands respect and draws people in because real presence can't be faked, it's earned. Number 8. He moves on without fear. Real strength in a man is shown by his ability to walk away from anything or anyone that no longer serves him. Many men stay in relationships long after respect fades, tolerating disrespect and manipulation out of fear of being alone. This fear traps them in cycles that drain their confidence and spirit. When a man fears loss, he ignores betrayal and disrespect, weakening himself, and she senses it. That's when the power shifts, and she begins to control the relationship, testing boundaries and pushing limits without consequence. Meanwhile, he keeps trying harder to win back someone who's no longer there. But a truly strong man doesn't chase or beg for explanations. He leaves calmly and confidently, knowing that walking away is the highest form of self-respect. He chooses himself without apology, making himself unforgettable not through anger, but through dignity. If you're holding on to someone who belittles you or disrespects your worth, understand this: patience won't fix it, setting standards will. A man who knows his value won't settle for being tolerated. He stays only where he's celebrated. Sometimes walking away is painful but necessary. The moment you leave without fear, you reclaim your freedom, and often, that's when she realizes your worth. No woman forgets a man who respects himself more than he clings to her. Make that your standard: walk away when needed, detach when deserved, and never settle out of fear. If you're tired of losing yourself for someone who doesn't value you, it's time to change. Stand firm, choose silence over desperation, and walk away with strength. I've created a stoic relationship blueprint to help men build this power and clarity. The link's in the comments now, but won't stay forever. If you're ready to stop chasing and start commanding respect, comment "I choose myself," like the video, and subscribe so more men find this truth and save themselves regret.